smudges on my thumb, pencils worn down to the nub. Gray dust covers the floor. I draw. I build charcoal clouds across the white page, heavy ink bleeding through. Tales from the sketchbook coming alive. Say something nice, tell me it's worth the time. Say something nice, watch as the colors climb. Painting a place where the sun never sets, filling the gaps in the grid. Ooh, draw it all out. Ooh, acrylic, dripping off the wood, splattered stains on my favorite hood. Bright pink, yellow, green, dragon scales under a lime wash, slipping far away. Hidden maps for a lost king, ancient paths carved in walls. From the sketchbook coming alive. Say something nice, tell me it's worth the time. Say something nice, watch as the colors climb. Painting a place where the sun never sets, filling the gaps in the grid. Ooh, draw it all out. Ooh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Art and Tales, the art stream where we do art. Amazingly enough. I am your host, Maria, as always, and I know it's been some time since I've been on stream. Specifically, I wasn't on stream last week, but I was, invading other streamers' streams. You know, I was on Tabitha's voice chat mostly, over on Hot Take Tuesday, and then I was able to join her, I think, last week as well. Not really sure. I don't remember. Anyway, thank you so much for coming in and sticking around. We're going to be doing some dark fairies today. And we're going to be working with a new medium, which is, we'll see how this goes. I'm working with gouache now to see if I can make this, art. Is that some kind of cereal? Yeah, for sure. It's a great cereal. The first thing that you wake up in the morning, you want that. About, a good doses of that. Amazing. So let's see who's in the chat. I can see already 2 people, amazing people over in the chat and the YouTube side. Megatron over there. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope everything has not been too busy, but I do hope that it has been busy at the same time. Because you know what? That's we gotta pay bills, man. We gotta pay bills. And I see Jay and the Elite Fan also starting us off the night with a dad joke. And this is one that I will say out loud. It says, "I don't know why the woodpecker is scared of the tree. It's frankly more bark than bite." Ha ha ha. Dad joke. So yeah. Let's get into this. So I'm doing a dark fairy background. This is the dark fairy that I did a few weeks ago. And obviously I did Copic markers and I did pencil crayons as for the fairy itself. So the fairy has what was it? She has white hair, white eyes, horns. She has shadow wings, and I'm not really sure what other the prompt was, but yeah. So this is what I came up with, very different from what Dreaming Tabitha was doing. She did her own fairy, and she did an entire story of it, Thicket of Dark Briar. You gotta go check that out. It's gonna be coming out soon. She has it on her Patreon. Shout out to her. So that's my secret captain. I'm always busy. That's my secret captain. I'm always busy. Awesome. I do know that reference. Megatron, you know that we like to keep this channel family friendly, because I don't know who may be watching out there. Over on the Kick side and over on the YouTube side, we definitely have a at least 3 people watching, 2 on the Kick side, at least 1 of them watching over on the YouTube side. So, you know what? That's how it is. This is a family-friendly stream. You know how it works, Megatron. You know it. You know it. All right, so let's get started. So I'm gonna show you the picture of the background that I chose to do. I'm just gonna put it up on OBS just a moment. In just a second. Where's this one? I guess it's... Oh, wait a minute. No. No, that's not what I want. Do I want that one? Oh, I don't want that one. I want this one. Definitely a lot smaller. Come on. Alright, fine. Let's see here. Properties. Yeah, we're going to capture a window. And capture this one here. And 3, 2, 1. Is it there? No, that's not it. Oopsies. No, wrong one. Okay. Cancel. Alright, let's airdrop. Okay. So let's try this dance again. Not sure where that is. You know what? I'm gonna remove this one. Yeah. Yes. So, I'm gonna have to capture. Okay, well, let's try this one. Okay. There it is. Okay. Oh, I get it. I understand what happened now. OBS kind of works with a different mindset as I do. Okay, so that's the background that I am trying to get. There we go. But I do want to see... I don't have a name for her, actually. Megatron. I don't have a name for her. If you'd like to give me some ideas, I'd be more than happy to read them out if they are appropriate for the stream, of course. If they are appropriate. So I got my wash here. Thank you so much for a subscriber who sent me this little package. It's super cute. It's a travel box. So I have this big set of Himi or Haimi or Haimai, I don't know how you call this, or just Himi gouache, gel gouache. Some of them are already a little bit like, not a little bit, like a lot dry, but that's okay because they reactivate with water. And I have this huge package which weighs a ton. And I'm like, you know what? I can't work with that. I need something smaller. So yeah. And then we have over on the YouTube side. Oh my gosh, this really... For some reason, I have a 32-inch monitor for some reason, and I just can't seem to get the... Alright, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid... there we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna pull this down even smaller so I can have the chat. So I can see the chat. Oopsies. Sorry, technical difficulties. I want to see the chat, but at the same time, I want to see my image. And, okay, that really drives me mad. All right. Here it is. All right. So I got my image. I got my chats up. I got the stream up. We're good. Okay, now I can pop up into... Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, so, oh, and it's Dunadan. And thank you, Megatron. Yes, well, it's a really nice picture. Although it does look pixelated on my side because I do have it bigger. Yours is definitely much better. But anyway, gouache away the devil. For sure. Because actually, gouache, I have named gouache. So I'm going to show you the difference between a gouache that is dry and a gouache that is like jelly. So this is the jelly one that I used last time. So I only opened just a tiny little bit so that it could keep moist. It could keep the moisture inside. And this is the ultramarine that I opened many moons ago. And it's completely dry. But I've been using it. I just added water and I've reactivated it. You reactivate it a little bit. So it's just a question of patience. It's not going to have the same properties as the gel one for sure, but it does give a nice it still works, so it's all good. So this is the ultramarine, and then I have the ultramarine. I have the purple-ish one here. I have the pale violet. Oh, if it comes out, pale violet, which is even more dark purple. I have the rose here, which I know I opened. There it is. So I opened it just a teensy-weensy little bit. I know the titanium is pretty dry. I just have to get it out of the box now. Oh my gosh. Really? I have the black, which I'm not going to be using anytime soon, because the black is going to go on top of everything. And then I'm going to paint on top of that pink, as you can see. So the white is completely dry as well. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Hey, it's Memes. What's up, Memes? Good to see you in the chat. Thank you so much for dropping by. Hope you've been having good streams yourself. Let me get a piece of paper. Because I didn't have the decency to clean my watercolor palette as I should have. So I'm going to do that now. Even though I technically could use all this watercolor for my next project, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm going to be using this palette, which is probably the best purchase I've done with regards to art supplies. This is a porcelain palette for watercolor. Porcelain is the best for watercolor, in my opinion. And it cost me $10. So it was like super cheap in the sense. And unlike other palettes, this one, you just clean it and it's like, ba-bang, cha-ching, I am ready for more. There, see? Oh, that's so satisfying. So it's nice and clean now. We're gonna get to it. I've been drawing some Star Wars characters in my hotel room for the past week. Oh, nice! Well, that's good. Even though we're in June now, but it's always good. Okay, so I gotta be bold. I have to be bold, a little bit bolder than I have been, especially in this area here. It's a lot darker, so it's a lot more purple-ish. So, oh, hey, Saw. I saw you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for dropping by. I wasn't able to stream last week due to many difficulties, so... But now I'm here this week on my regular schedule of Thursday afternoon. I know Nomi is streaming at the moment. She is streaming... she's streaming, I think, food. Which we all love. We all love food anyway, so... It's great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some purple and blue, some ultramarine blue. That should give me a little bit darker. Okay, that's black. Yeah. Put that back there. And I painted my easel. Classic. It's not like my easel isn't painted already, but you know what? It's like, you know how it is. Okay, I don't want to waste this. This is really good paint. And, well, let's see here. If I can, just darken it up with this here. With this pure color. I don't want to waste what I have on my brush, so... We'll see how this ends. I just got back from Nashville and Mississippi on Monday. Ooh. I don't follow May the 4th trends. May the 25th is real Star Wars Day for me as far as I'm concerned. Okay, fair enough. I celebrate both days. Why stick to only one? I don't care. It's like the more the merrier. You want to celebrate May the 4th? Let's do it. You want to celebrate May 25th? Okay. Two dates. Why just stick with one? No. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, I am an artist. That's what I do. And I stream art. And no, so I was going to talk about gouache, the paint. So for those of you who don't know, this is my first time using gouache. And I recently found out that gouache is actually it's a pretty modern medium. They created gouache for abstract art, actually. See, I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh, because I call it a finicky medium, very, very moody, a very moody medium, because it acts like both acrylic and watercolor at the same time. Depending on how much water you use, it could act like either, and maybe it's like, well, I don't want watercolor, and I don't want, see, this coverage, I don't like this coverage. For some reason, it's like that, see? So this is the first time that I'm actually using gouache on a painting. I don't know how it's going to react with the Bristol paper. I did my research, and technically it should be fine, but you never know. You just never know. So it's like, okay, well, we'll find out now. So, because I have to see crappy Disney Star Wars characters everywhere on Twitter. Besides, I celebrate Star Wars almost every day now that I've gotten back into my Legends reading. Oh, nice. Good reading. I recently read a book, a fantasy book, because I'm an avid reader, and I usually read fantasy. I'm not a big sci-fi fan in regards to reading, amazingly enough. I prefer watching sci-fi as opposed to reading it. So I was recently watching, I was recently reading a fantasy book called The Six Cranes, and it was so good because it was actually a mixture of two classic tales. One of them I tell them, and it's the Hans Christian Andersen tale of the Wild Swans. It was the perfect adaptation to the Wild Swans, perfectly executed with the own flair of the artist, of the author herself. Very nice. And then she did a sequel to that book, which utterly destroyed the first book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so disappointing, because I was so pumped up with the first book, that I'm like, okay, let's go for the second one. I mean, we gotta find out what happens, right? Boy, you know what? After the first adventure, I just lost interest very quickly. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so not cool. This is so not cool. So I was very, very sad, very disappointed. But I did read the book Project Hail Mary. My sci-fi book was Project Hail Mary, which some people don't call sci-fi. I do. I thought it was a great sci-fi book. I haven't seen the movie, so I guess I can say I enjoyed the book first. I'm gonna see the movie actually this weekend, and it was like, okay, well, I guess it's really nice. You know what? I'm gonna add some pink to this. Oh, the Thrawn duology, nice. Okay, okay, that's good. Where's the rose? I need some warmth in this. This is like too cold. All right. There. There we go. That should look a little bit better. So, I did read the Darth Bane book. What was it called? I don't remember. The first one. The first Darth Bane series. Really good book. That's another one that I enjoyed a lot as a sci-fi, and it did give me food for thought with regards to Sith lore. Because the Siths are like very... I personally, I don't know much about them, but then again, I am a Star Wars fan, but I don't know that much lore. So it was like, okay, well. And it was interesting. It was a really good book. And I do have the Thrawn book. I'm going back in time to read the Han and Leia books earlier. Okay. Duology is one where Luke proposes to Mara. It was a cute book. Oh, okay. Well, that's cute. I'm a very big avid reader. I really enjoy reading. So, what are your favorite books? So I'm gonna start reading another fantasy book called Let the Sky Fall. So we're gonna see how that goes. It's completely different picture. It's a completely different color. Well, sort of, but I need to add more ultramarine blue from my cap here. A little bit more blue. There we go. So, I happen to own one of the rarest Star Wars books ever published, The Heart of the Jedi. I snagged it off Amazon before Disney pulled it. I've seen it on eBay for over... Wow! That's crazy. Congrats, though. I think I do have it on digital. If I'm not mistaken, I have that book. I haven't read it yet. I keep forgetting that I have it. But, were you able to read it? Is it good? It probably is. I really don't want to... I don't want to go over my... I'm probably going to have to go over anyway, but... I don't want to go over my... There. And gosh, this mic is really in my way. Alright. You'll never see a Disney canon book going for 300. I remember seeing hardcovers packed on the shelf at Indigo Books. I also have one called Brotherhood. I started to read it. I started to read that one in May, but I left it. And that's one that I do have, like, I own it because a book buddy gave it to me. She said, oh yeah, I have this, and I know you really like Star Wars as much as I do, or even more, so here, you can have it. I'm like, oh, I'm down. I like books. It's the Era of the Republic, so I haven't read it yet. Okay, cool. Hey, Larry. I'm not home, but I wanted to stop by and say, hey, hey. Awesome, Larry. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. You know how I appreciate people that drop in and say hi, for sure. Hope you get home safely, though. Okay, so that's a little bit more. I mean, it's still it's bluer, but it's definitely darker. So now what I have to do is I have to... Oh, too much water. Okay. Are you gonna read the... Okay, after you finish the reading... Okay. The Leia books. Okay. Ah! I painted myself. Oopsies. I better put this one down. Okay. Oh my gosh, thank goodness I put on a sweater that I can get wet. Alright. White titanium! Do your magic! I know that you are completely dry. But that doesn't mean that I can't use you. So a friend of mine, I posted this on X. A friend of mine who's Chinese actually went back to China Tuesday. She should be there already, obviously. But before she left, I looked at her with big eyes and I said, "Can you bring me back stuff from China?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And she knows I'm an artist. And she's like, "Yeah, of course. What do you want?" I'm like, "Can you bring me back brushes? Just brushes." She's like, "Yeah, of course. Only brushes?" And I was like, oh, she can bring me back more stuff. I was very excited. I was one excited puppy. So, so I asked her today, I wanted to leave her like a few days respite. I wanted to leave her a few days respite so that she can get acclimatized. So I wrote her today. I didn't write to her the day of. I wrote to her today and saying like, okay, I've done my research. I want these books, these brushes. So I've asked her to get me some brushes that are very, very specific for calligraphy. And I did my research to see what is best. And apparently, because Chinese brushes for watercolor are amazing. They're like the best. They're probably up there, very high quality. So I asked her, it's like, hey, can you get me brushes? And I looked, and I asked for a mixed brush. So what does that mean? It means that so the brushes are made of either synthetic hair or real hair. Specifically, Chinese brushes can be made of goat hair, which is super soft, very, very soft. Wolf hair or weasel hair, which is very hard and good for details, and rabbit hair. So I went all out and I asked her to get me the specifically the mixed ones. So the weasel or wolf hair and either goat hair or rabbit hair, because I wanted something easy to use. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I am very excited because those brushes are really nice for watercolor. And so some of you know that I am a watercolorist. That is my main medium. So yeah. Thank you so much, everybody who is dropping in over on the Kick side, over on the YouTube side. Always really awesome to have everybody here. For those of you who are just tuning in, I am Maria, and this is Art and Tales, the storytelling art channel where we do art and sometimes some storytelling, because I am a professional storyteller. Amazingly enough. I don't do much of it at the moment, but I am. So, I have no idea what I'm doing now. Like, genuinely no idea. I feel like I'm not doing so good. I'm not doing so good. Okay. I'm sorry I missed what you said. Weird, I don't follow any logical reading. You know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry too much about it, Megatron. Just read. It'll all come around eventually. I think I need more pink. Get over here. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So my brush is super saturated. Lucky. It's saying lucky. Is it? Okay, sorry, no. I'm listening to other music. Not the one that you are enjoying on the stream. Though let me know if you want me to change or take off the music that you hear in the background. Please let me know. Seriously don't know what I'm doing. You know what? I'm gonna do my own thing at this point. We need more white. I'm trying to blend it. And it's not really working. I'm trying to do is like a gradient, but I can't seem to get the hang of it. At least not yet. Okay, okay, I got it. I think I got at least part of it. Yeah. Maybe just a little bit. Here we go. You know, I've been doing some research. And you know how some people try to say, okay, I like that. I like what I see. I don't like the brush strokes itself, but at least it's better than it was before, I think. This mic is in my way. It's like so in my way. Very uncomfortable. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go for the purple-ish blue stuff on this side here. So I gotta get rid of the white on my paintbrush. I liked Luke and Mara's relationship in Thrawn trilogy, so I had to skip ahead to the duology. Oh. Okay. Got it. Waste not, want not. Okay. So do you have any... I'll get to my... what I was going to say afterwards, but does anybody have any ideas for this name of this dark fairy? I don't have any ideas. I'm open to ideas. Think about it. I'm going to turn this around because it's always good to work in a comfortable position, and I'm touching the paint. Ugh. So if you have any ideas, let me know. What do you guys think we should call this dark fairy? I have haven't really thought of it. What is her backstory? I have to say I didn't think about it. But if you look at her, just take a good look at her and think, what is the vibe that she is giving you right now? So she has like this mysterious smile. She has these white eyes that they are never going to, they're never going to change. She's living in like in a dark fairy, in a dark wood, obviously. It's just a dark fairy. It has to live in a dark wood. Duh. What do you guys think? So she has... Thanks, Megatron. That's really helpful. Thanks. Yeah. So she has cuffs on her ears. She has demon horns. She has no tattoo. She has white eyes. She has shadow wings. And I gave her torn shadow wings to add to the effect. I need more purple. The open one. Which one is the opened one? I think it's violet. Yeah, it's violet. There. Close it. So let's see here. So we're trying to figure out like a backstory for this, just so that I can get a name. I don't plan on creating an entire story for this dark fairy. Hey, Grape. What's up? Good evening over on the Kick side. Thank you so much for dropping in, for stopping by. We're working gouache for the first time. No, for the third time, I think. We're working on our dark fairy. I'm actually asking people, when they see this one, like what name I can give her, and if the name is too hard, if the name is too hard, what backstory we can give her so that we can have a name. Just a name. I just want a name. Sorry, Megatron. No. Tinkerbell's evil sister. You see, that's the question. Is she evil? is she evil? Dark fairy may not be necessarily evil, can it? Does it have to be evil? That is a good question. Do the dark fairies? So I know, no, you reminded me that I do have some pretty, I have some pretty dark tales about the good folk. Let me see if I can find, where did I have my, okay, just a moment. So I'm going to show you one of my treasures that I have. One of the treasures that I have in my books. So I really like it. I always forget just so... Oh, thank you. So this book here is called Meeting the Other Crowd. The Fairy Stories of Hidden Ireland. This is called... this is done by Eddie Lenihan. Eddie Lenihan is a storyteller, an Irish storyteller. There he is. Okay. And he has been looking into the fair folk folklore for many years. He has had many stories. He has found many stories about them, and I had to stop reading for a while some of these stories because my objective was to learn stories from this. Is it this one? Vicious Fairies, yes. So the first one here would be Vicious Fairies. This stories here talk about how, like, so fairies are not exactly cute and cuddly and Tinkerly Bella like. That's one type, but they're not exactly good. So this one, my question would be if this one here is a good fairy or not. You know, Megatron, I'm not gonna read that one. I ain't gonna do it. Winged meanie. But is she? Is she one of the vicious fairies? So there is a story now that I remember. The Legend of Knockgrafton tells the story of fairies that are not vicious, but they do give you your just desserts if you deserve it. And one of the characters in that story definitely deserved it. It's the story of Lusmore and the story of Jack Madden. And that's a story of fairies. The Legend of Knockgrafton. She's a fairy redhead. Well, I respect for redheads, man. Respect for redheads. I love redheads. Whether it be a natural redhead or not so natural redhead, if it's well done, oh, it's so gorgeous. So there's another story. A story that I told long ago And when I say long ago, I'm talking about years ago. On one of my early stories of unlocking lore. Um, I'm trying to remember it. I know the gist of the story. It is about fairies, and they're not exactly pretty fairies. Um, and a girl who wanted more. She was too ambitious for her own good. Like she was too greedy, and she was too vain for her own good, and that, well, let's just say that it's not an entirely sad ending, but it's not a pretty ending either. You could say it's a satisfactory ending, but what story is it? Let me check. I have to go back now. Now I have to go back to my channel. I'm going to go to my YouTube studio and find it, the content. Are you taking part or short week? And short week on no. I wasn't. I wasn't well, first of all, I wasn't told, you could say. I wasn't told. But I'm actually doing a whole lot of things right now, so to add one more project onto my thing, I was like, oh my gosh. I am crocheting. I'm crocheting right now little moons, like little, but not sharks. I did see Tabitha and the rest of the gang, Anne and Teresa and all those knitters over on Tuesday. I was able to drop by. You weren't told? For shame! For shame! I know! Right? I'm telling ya. Alright, let me see. Where is that story? I have so many. It's just that I have so many art and tales back when it was. Okay, let's go to the last chapter. The last. Cherry of Zener. That's it. Cherry of Zener. That's where it is. So Cherry of Zener is one of the stories. I think it's the first one that I told on the channel, because I literally just looked it up, and it's the first one of my content. How many years ago? Hang on a second. Unlocking Lore episode 1. I started off with Cherry of Zener. When was this? Oh my gosh, 5 years ago, July 8, 2021. That's crazy. I've come far away. I've come a long way. 5 years ago, I started off live streaming, and I started off telling stories. And the first story that I told was Cherry of Zener. So Cherry of Zener is a story. If you want me to tell you the story, give me a thumbs up over on the chat. I'll give you not the story itself, but the gist, the overall gist of it. So, how about Anastasia? She looks like Anna. Anastasia's already, you know, it's already taken. It's already taken. So, Give me a thumbs up if you want to hear the story of Cherry of Zener. At least some of it, not the whole thing, obviously, because I can't. I haven't reviewed, so I usually, for my performances, the story that I choose, I usually do a good review on it. I reimagine it in my mind, and then I tell you what I see. The images, I describe them. I describe the story, the journey that I live through my mind. That's the story that I tell. And it's always a little different because obviously stories, you know, you change, the times change. Many things happen during, like, from when you started off telling the same story than where you are now, so. Merhaba. Oh, merhaba. Oh, hello, Sat, patates. Okay. If that's how you say it, Sat patates. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I probably am. It looks like, succumbus. Oh, well. Oh, there's my always Dunadan over on the YouTube side. He was fast to give that thumbs up for the story. So, because he has been one of the first people over on my channel that has enjoyed storytelling. So, Cherry of Zener is the story of a girl who, her vanity got the better of her. She was a young girl, you know, who lived in a small village, and she was a beautiful girl. Very, very beautiful. And everybody, she had many, many suitors, but she always thought that she had to have more. And Marielle, over on the YouTube side, Marielle, well, could be. Takes after me, eh? So, Cherry, she lived in Zener, hence Cherry of Zener, and she was always being courted, or she was always being pursued by somebody, but she always stuck up her nose and saying she didn't want any. Until finally her mother and her father were like, well, you have to choose somebody from the village unless you want to leave. And that's when she said, yes, I want to leave. I want to strike out on my own. I want to see where I can find, because I cannot marry anybody, just like anybody. So, so they agreed, amazingly enough. It is a story. So she packed up her things and she left, and she started walking. And she walked and walked for many hours, and then she got to crossing the road, if I'm not mistaken. I'm butchering the story. And well, she was very tired, and the day was going down, and then she looked up and she saw the most beautiful man that she had ever laid eyes on. And the gentleman was very finely dressed. And she said, why are you standing there, right? Why, what's wrong with you? She was very tired, so she had to sit down. And so when she looked up, she saw this man, and he's like, well, why are you there? She says, well, I'm kind of lost. You know, I've been trying to find my way to a new village, a new town, and I'm kind of lost. But she was very much struck with the man. And he said, well, if you come with me, you can come to my castle and you can work for me. For I have a child that I need help with, and I will pay you handsomely if you come with me. And she was very much struck with the man, so she said absolutely yes. And she started following. and they went into a forest. I'm butchering the story completely. I'm sorry, because it's definitely worthwhile listening to, or me telling it like nicely. But she goes into a forest, a dark forest, and then she comes into. They come to a river, and that's where the man picks her up, and he wads over to the other side of the river, and he says, "The only thing that I ask is that you are going to take care of my child, but do not, for what, no matter what, do not use his, do not use the medicine that he needs onto yourself." And she was like, "Oh, well, okay, yeah, of course." It's like, well, I'm not sick, so I don't think it's going to be a problem, but she agrees. So he takes her deeper into the forest, and once they come out into a clearing, she saw the most beautiful castle that she could possibly imagine, with gorgeous gardens, beautiful, stunning gardens. It was just mind blowing. Gardens with hedge roses, with hedges and roses and daisies and bluebells and forget me nots and so many different varieties of flowers, and water fountains and the most blue sky that she had ever seen. So the gentleman, says, you may now call me master, for I am your employer. You are my employee, and I will take you to my child. So he took her to the other side of the castle where his child was, and she saw that he was a little bit deformed because he had the biggest eyes that she had ever seen, and he was being taken care of his nanny, who did not look very happy with the arrangement. Nevertheless, the nanny agreed, because obviously the fairy, said yes. This is she's going to take care of my son from now on, and he said, and then so she agreed, obviously. Though, like I said, she wasn't exactly too happy about it. Anyway, so they went through the routines, and he took her inside the castle. And I'm not really sure if this is part of the story, but when she was walking through the halls, I need to check, and I'm going to next week. I can tell you if it was true or not. But she saw the most strangest statues of different people, but she thought they would look so realistic that she thought that they could be real people. Nevertheless, they were just statues, and then he took her to her chamber where she was going to sleep, and she said, so tomorrow morning we will go through the routines, and I will give you my son's medicine, which you have to put on him every morning. And so she goes, the day was spent, and then she woke up the next morning, went to the nanny who was with the child and the master, and the nanny gave her a bottle of ointment, and she said that every morning, at a certain hour, after the child had his breakfast, she would use this ointment onto the child, and then that's it. And then she had the rest of the day for herself, which, Cherry thought it was a great idea. And then afterwards, so she started off her routine, and then she started to get to know the master as well, who was very charming, extremely handsome, and started to show an interest in her. And she started to obviously have a little bit more of an interest in him. Nevertheless, the days went by in which Cherry would, not only see the master, but she would attend to the needs of the child, give him his food. But every time that she would add give her the ointment onto his eyes, onto the child's eyes, something radical happened in which the child, would just open his eyes even bigger than they were. And there was so much joy and happiness. And he would run off and start laughing and, feeling like very, very happy. So that started to pique her curiosity. But not so much to go back on her word and try the ointment herself. And then at one point, the relationship between the master and Cherry, was getting a little bit more, romantic. So much so that she started to, have walks with the master in the afternoon. And she started to having started to fall for him. She was still taking care of the child, but, these afternoon strolls and the conversations that they had, well, she was winning, she was losing her heart. And then one point, at one day, after she had given the ointment to the child, her curiosity was piqued because she saw that he saw something. That once he had the ointment on, it's as if he saw something that she didn't. And she thought, it was like, well, what is it? So the days went by and her curiosity got the better of her. And so one day, right after the child got the ointment in the eyes and he ran off happily, she used the ointment onto her eyes. And it stung her so much that she thought she would go blind. So she ran off to the lake that was nearby, and she started to wash her face from her eyes of the ointment. But to her astonishment, when she opened her eyes, she saw a group of people that were dancing happily over the water, and they were floating and they were glowing. And she saw the master whom she had fallen in love with, with another woman in his arms within that dance. And she was so distraught that she left running, and these people didn't notice that she saw everything. So the next day, Cherry comes out despondent. She goes, and then the master seeks her out. She goes through her usual routines because obviously she had broken her word, but she was also very, very disappointed that, the master that she thought, was falling in love with her was actually, apparently playing around with her. And she went to the usual stroll, but she didn't want too much to do with the man. And when he started to grab her hand, get a little bit more, closer to her, she repelled him. It's like, why are you doing this to me? If you were in the arms, or you had your arms around another woman yesterday over by the lake. And so that's when he noticed, that's when he knew that she had used the ointment. And he said it to her face, no, you used the ointment that I told you not to. It's like, and then she knew that she had made a mistake, that she had, let the cat out of the bag. So he said, now you have to leave. And she didn't want to leave because obviously it was the most beautiful place that she had ever been to, with a master that she had fallen in love with. However, he dragged her out. He dragged her out in through the forest again. He got to the river, picked her up, waded over to the other side, and then dropped her down. And he said, "Never again shall you ever see me or this place." And she was crying, begging to go back, apologizing profoundly, but he did not listen to her. And then he left her. And then all of a sudden everything disappeared, and she was back at the crossroads where he had found her. And so she knew her way back. And, some time had already passed. So she walked back to her village, but she was completely changed. She was completely depressed and sad. And even though her parents, they welcomed her back, she never said where she had gone, what had happened. And she lived her life that way for the rest of her days. She never got married, and she never, but once in a while she would try to go back to the crossroads to see if she could find her way back to the forest, but she never could. And that is Cherry of Zener. That is the story. So, fairies aren't exactly the cute little people that you believe that they are. So I totally butchered the story, obviously, because there are a lot of details that I left out, probably. But it's a good start. So that, you see, Art and Tales. Art and Tales. Too bad Tabitha wasn't around. Yes, so many of these stories end sad. But at the same time, it's food for thought, because it's like, okay, why did they end sad? Out of whose fault? Why? So let me know what you think of Cherry of Zener. And what do you think this fairy should be called? Is she a vicious fairy? Does she look like a vicious fairy? Is she captured? Okay, so I think I need a new brush. I need more of a clean brush. There we go. That's the pink that I want to blend it with. Oh, good evening, Lieutenant. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. We just told a story. We just had some tales. The story of Cherry of Zener. It's a story, it's a fairy story. I hope all of you over on the Kick side have enjoyed that. I haven't done stories in a long time, quite frankly. Maybe I should change a little bit the color here. It's a little bit of a... Yeah, it was nice, actually. So for those of you who don't know, I am a storyteller. I am a trained storyteller. In a sense that I've told stories for many, many years now. And I've trained under a coach. Wonderful coach. Wonder how he's doing. It's been a long time since I've talked to him. So, Tabitha's going to freak out. She loves listening to stories, especially the story of Mr. Fox. Story of Mr. Fox is a story that I tell for usually for Halloween-ish times. I'm not going to tell it tonight. One story per night. That's the gig. That's how the kicks go. Unless you paid for a full-on story, like a storytelling session. 1 hour of full stories. That's where you go mad. Just go nuts. This one here. Okay. I'm going way off topic here with the colors, but that's okay. I'm doing my own thing a little bit more. Going on my own. Bit more than, pink. Pink. Here's my rose pink. Grip sent a 10. Hype, 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 hype. Awesome, Grip. Grip or grape? I don't know. Awesome. Thank you so much for the hypes, man. We need hypes. We need hypes in this world. We got hypes. Okay, I think this is the last time. Oh my gosh, it's 9 o'clock. Oh, crazy, man. I did not see it coming. I mean that in a good way. I did not see that coming. It is 9 o'clock. Oh my gosh. 9 o'clock in my end of the world, obviously. Not for other people. Other people, it's still early. I live in a decent hour. And it is a work night. Yes. I still have my day job. I still have to pay my bills. My art is not sufficient for me to live the dream of not working a day job and just adding, like, doing my art. No. It's not possible. So. You know what? I agree. Believe it or not, I fully agree. But I do have to say, it does pay my bills. So the problem is not the work. The problem is the bills. That's the thing. The problem is not the work. No, work is fine. The problem is the bills that I have to pay. It has to make me work. But I hope you all enjoyed the story. Bills, double boo. Agreed. Totally agree. Absolutely. And like some people say, I am not, I'm not heavyweight, streamer, so I don't go 4 hours, 5 hours. Unlike other people, Megatron, for example. Other people go 5 hours. Those are heavyweight YouTubers. I'm lightweight. Do my thing. Decent amount. You guys get to see the behind the scenes and So you're not like Sevi? No, Sevi is pro, man. And she also has a day job. Sevi. I want to be like Sevi when I grow up. Ah! It's wet! Of course it's wet. I just literally used it. Well, it does. It has a little bit more of like a personality to it, I have to say. To be careful though. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit off because it could be like a type of glow that she has also. This is a little bit more of a darker shade. I don't know if you can see that. There. Alright. Dunadan, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. And there you go. You got your story. That's why you come here also. Got your story. You have a wonderful night. I'm going to be turning in as well. I'm going to follow Dunadan's following Dunadan's example very soon. Like, extremely soon. Oh, you can't really see that. Sorry. There it is. That's what I'm doing. And this has to go darker. Like, definitely a lot darker. So I'm just going to clean my brush. My water's disgusting. I'm gonna have to crack into the black soon. Like really soon. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I need to rest also so that I can have a fresh look at this. Because even though I want to trust the process, I also need to. I need to give this a rest so that I really like what we've done up to now. It's given it depth. It's given it like sort of life. It does look better on screen, I have to say. It'll definitely be nicer in print than in real life, I think. I haven't finished yet. Obviously, I still have many of the trees that I have to do. I have to finish off parts of the sky, definitely. It's not going to be the same as the picture that you see, but it's definitely, you know. So, thank you so much for coming. I don't have anything planned apart from my usual schedule of Thursdays. So if you are subscribed to the channel and you hit that notification bell, you will know if I do go on stream either before or after. I'm trying to aim for Tuesdays. So it's like a nice Tuesday, Thursday like thing. But nothing is set yet until the fat lady sings, and the fat lady has not sung. So anyway, thank you so much for stopping in, for dropping by, for checking out this stream, for listening to a story in this episode of Art and Tales, a story of dark fairies, of Cherry of Zenar, of a girl who wanted more and was left with less. So, food for thought. Thank you so much, and yes, memes, as you say it. Peace out, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Peace out.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.